Guys, make sure you're tuning in every Monday through Friday at 7:30 Eastern Time PM to the Sneak and Geek Live, where you can interact with me and my audience on TikTok, Twitch, or YouTube. All right, I look forward to seeing you there.
That I'm an answer if you ain't mine. Even if you call me up.
So, Cleopatra is one of the stories of the week. We have a black woman right next to us. Now, I don't know how well versed you are in history. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I was an A student.
A what?
I was an A student with one F. Can you guess where that one F always came from?
Math. Sorry, that was not my strong suit.
History, nigga.
Oh.
I hate history.
Well, I'm pretty good with history.
So I would never get up here and pretend to y'all that I'm the expert on who the hell was who, and nigga, I barely remember what civil rights was about. All right,
He's joking.
I'm gonna probably.
No, he's joking. It was a joke. It was a joke. He remembers civil rights. It was a joke. Okay.
I'm so glad this ain't live, boys. They gonna clip that. They gonna be like, look at this coon. Look at this coon. All right. So if you're unaware, Jada Pinkett Smith is making a Queen Cleopatra docu-series over at Netflix. Now, docu-series is important because if you're making a fictional show, then it's a little irritating, but I mean, it's a fictional show. You can depict her however you want to depict her, I suppose. You know, I don't think it's going to be very popular. But a docu-series has the intention of educating with facts. That's what a docu-series, you don't go into a docu-series and start telling lies. That's not what you do. So if you're going to do that, then you have to bring irrefutable facts that Cleopatra was in fact a black woman, but yet you don't bring that. As a matter of fact, when asked about it, the director insinuated that she did not know for sure. So how the fuck you gonna make a docuseries depicting her as black? Anyway, Egypt has accused Netflix of misrepresenting history by casting a black woman to play Cleopatra, its most famous historical figure in a new series. Queen Cleopatra, which is released May 10th, features Adele James in the lead role, a casting decision that the streaming giant says is a nod to the centuries-long conversation about the ruler's race, but which officials in Cairo have dismissed as blatant historical fallacy. So what do you think about it? As being a black woman, what do you think about it?
Whatever Cleopatra was, whatever her race was, really, I don't see why we just couldn't get a Egyptian. I'm just saying, why didn't we get an Egyptian to play her? I mean, she didn't have to be black. She definitely don't need to be white. I'm saying she need to be whatever. Go and get an Egyptian. Because if you're, for example, if we're doing a movie based off of, what was it, The Blood? You ever seen The Blood Diamonds? Mm-hmm. So really quick, it's just a movie about like these people in Africa, and they were like basically hit a jackpot on diamonds or whatever. But it's based in Africa. I get there is white people in Africa, but majority of the time there is Africans, black Africans. Do you think majority of that movie was black Africans, or they put white Africans all over there just because it was white Africans in Africa? No, they didn't do that. So why would you sit here and make her a race or a color that she's not? So I kind of, to be honest, again, it's going back to what we talked about, that one Friday, they're basically just trying to make black everything. And I'm not trying to be like a a-hole when I say that, but we don't need to be everywhere. I'm tired of being everywhere.
Well, for me, it's not about being everywhere. It's about telling lies for the sake of making yourself feel good. Because this is all that this is, right? Let's pretend that they let you get away with this, okay? Because their explanation was, well, black girls need to see themselves as queens.
That has nothing to do with Cleopatra.
Wait a minute, bitch. Black girls need to see themselves as queens, so you're gonna hijack a historical figure and replace her with your own race?
If you want a black girl to be a queen from a true queen, make a movie about a black girl being a queen.
Make your own history, pretty much.
Make your own movie. Who? I mean,
And,
you don't.
and don't hire Jada Pinkett freaking Smith to do it. All right.
I'm sorry, but I do. I am a Jada Pinkett hater, I guess, because I do not like Jada Pinkett.
Nobody does. I don't think a single person in America, like not even her own. Let me shut up. Let me tell you said it. Remember you said. I don't think, man. Because if imagine being. Never mind.
This may or may not do good in theaters. It just depends.
It's not going to theaters. It's going to Netflix.
I mean, my bad. It may or may not do good on Netflix, but it's not something that I'm very woo about because, again, like I said, if she's already starting off with putting the main person wrong, I feel like there might be other lies in there.
Yeah, basically, whatever. Because I wonder how they, because I mean, let's keep it a bean. Cleopatra was in. She ruled because she what? What did she have to do to keep her position? She had to throw that ass. I'm not gonna like
Freaky deaky.
let's keep it a bean. Women in power historically have had to throw that ass around quite a few times because let's be honest. If you're a queen and you're ruling a nation, what is stopping any man from just walking in there and just saying,
Rules.
like,
rules?
But that's
hold
the-
on. Because, like, if you get into, like, England and stuff like that, it's the rules. It's the tradition. They're not going to stop. They really believe.
yeah, that's now. That's now because we're more civilized. Back then, during those times in Egypt, do you really think if a man really was like, listen, I want to be the king, or not even a desire to be the king, I think she's doing a horrible job, I'm just gonna go in here and kill her.
I mean, okay, that's different. You could do that. A man could do that against another man. I'm just going to go in there and
Not,
kill him.
but men follow men more than they follow women is what I'm trying to say. So
I still think
as a woman, right, for your protection, you have to surround yourself around men who are willing to protect you. Because a king normally, in order to be a king, you normally have to be a warrior. You have to have done some type of warrior thing at some point, right? Like even as a prince, you have to be able to defend yourself against other men. Now, I'm pretty sure there's some historical.
Or we not quite sure.
I'm not the person to ask that question.
Okay.
I'm not the person to ask that question because I don't want to. I don't want to give any wrong. I know that she had a connection with Julius Caesar.
I just feel like when you're, and I get what you're saying. I'm not saying Cleopatra probably didn't have to throw that ass around. She may or may not have. But I'm just saying a lot of times with places, again, I think sometimes we get the mindset because we are in the United States and we just don't give a fuck about certain things. Like we just feel like we can just off the rail with certain shit because it doesn't matter. We have freedom of speech. But you got to think about these countries and places who don't have freedom of speech and where they're not used to that privilege. So to them, what happens is what happened. What goes is what goes. Yeah, you always got someone that's always trying to step on the outside and, you know what I'm saying, do some shit. But when it come down to it, most of them people in her kingdom or whatever like that, they followed the rules. So I don't think they were gonna really out.
But see, I get what you're saying, but remember, who has to enforce the rules? Like, think about that for a second. Even the law now, who enforces the rules? It's men, right? In order for you to get these men to force the rules, they have to believe in your rule. Now, a man, we just got to be honest, men tend to follow other men, right? Even on a football field, there's always one leader. They don't have to follow him, but they always end up following him. Tom Brady, because he's a proven winner. For a woman, well, she hasn't been on the battlefield. What has she brought? Like, as a woman, what have you brought to qualify as being a queen? Normally, remember back during those times, a woman's wealth normally came from who she married. So if you're a woman, if you have a fortune, how did you get that fortune? You get what I'm saying? Did you fight for it? Because most men fought for their fortune.
So was her, or are you not familiar with this? Was she, okay, did she get her, how did she get her title?
We can literally.
Yeah, because I just want to know, how did she get her title? Did she get it from being in, is it the family? Now, if it's family, If she's like the daughter or something to a king and it was his dynasty, they're gonna listen to her because the respect of the father.
She became queen
Oh,
on the death of her father and ruled successfully with her two brothers. At least this is what the internet is saying.
Yeah.
And her son. So you think because of who her father was, people just follow her?
Correct, because it's a fan. Again, I get where you coming from. It's still your point is still valid and it makes sense because again they seen her father, and now I feel like because it was family, she was brought in, it was blood. They were gonna have respect for her because they have respect for her father. So you're not gonna it's one of them things where you're gonna follow the rules. So maybe they didn't want a woman, but he clearly must have didn't have no sons. No, he did.
No, he did.
So she was the oldest.
I mean,
Now I want to see this documentary, but I think they're gonna lie to me.
yeah.
I want to know how did that happen? Because usually the sons, but it's usually like the firstborn. So maybe she got it because she was the firstborn, or maybe they were too young at the time.
No, I just know if you're a woman and you're able to have a lot of men to protect you, you're a very powerful woman. And normally you get the way men, because the way men operate, men aren't just out here throwing their life away for women in the friend zone. I'm sorry. They're not doing it. They're not doing it.
I got a best friend who would do it.
You want to call him right now and see if he would, we can call him what you gonna say is, no, let's not. This ain't Fresh and Fit podcast. Don't do that.
Nah, it'll be funny. It'll be funny.
Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do that.
Beat that thing down like you started attention, my baby. You had some plans with your man, just tell him to cancel, my baby. Slide to the crib, look like Dracula's mansion, my baby. When you pull up, it's on action, my baby.